Hi, my name is Carolyn Zacharias. I am a freshman pre-business student, hopefully going into marketing, and my new student dialogue was on how prejudice changes the world, a dialogue on the impact of religious conflicts. In our dialogue, there were a lot of active voices. They felt comfortable enough with the topic of religion, and they had a basic knowledge of other religions. Most of them did, and they felt comfortable enough to put a lot of input into the dialogue, which made it really interesting, and it never got really quiet when we were hoping for people to talk. With the people who gave a lot of input, though, they often got us off track, and we would get really off topic, and we need the people who are running the dialogues to keep us focused on the actual question. Our dialogue group wasn't full of people who gave a lot of input. We had active voices, but we also had a good amount of reserved speakers in the group who felt uncomfortable with the topic of religion. Some of the people who are uncomfortable, they mentioned that they were atheist or they were devout Christians, and a lot of them didn't find justification in religions. Like, atheists didn't really, they thought all the religions we talked about were kind of baseless, and then some devout Christians couldn't really focus on the whole, tolerance of other religions. But to them, their input was kind of too controversial to share, and they thought maybe that they would rile up the group if they shared what they truly believed. So it might have been best that they didn't share. It kept when they did have some input, though, it did show their opinions about a topic about prejudice. For me, I was in the middle. I was active at times, but also I didn't have a lot of input most of the time. I shared when I understood the topic that we were discussing, and then when I didn't feel comfortable with my knowledge about a topic, I didn't share my opinions because I didn't feel it was right to share an opinion that I didn't have much knowledge or backing behind. In our dialogue, we had to write information about multiple things: our socioeconomic status, our religion, our race, our hometown, or country of origin, and our first language. And we had to write it down on a big circle, and we had to then rank what was the most important one of those factors or characteristics in our lives. And I ranked religion as my number one because I felt that it can influence my long-term decisions. And I noticed that basically everyone in our group, if not all, put religion as their number one. And then for me, I put my first language as the least important because my first language is English and I live in America, so it doesn't make that big of a difference that my first language is English. The dialogue, I believe, in Library 100 is important because it prepares you for those small classes when it's not like a lecture and you have to, and your input is maybe part of your grade, or it's highly recommended that you talk in class, because right now we just have big lecture halls, and we don't have much input unless we have questions. So when you get into those smaller classes, I think that the new student dialogue, in terms of how to interact with other people and how to be respectful in a setting like that with a small group of people, it was really important. It reminded me a lot, the dialogue, of my previous English classes that I had in high school, because we would be given a topic and maybe a basic kind of vague question, and we would be told to just go off on the topic and expand from there. I noticed that every question that was asked, whether it be about like Hinduism or Judaism, it always pointed back to Christianity in our group. And I noticed that. I kind of attribute that to the fact that I think our whole group basically, either there were a couple atheists, but the rest of them were Christians, so they didn't want to talk about any other religion except for theirs. I don't think that's bad, but I think if we had a more variety of people in our group, it would have turned out better. Overall, though, the dialogue went well, and I learned a lot about other people in my class.